All right, hi everybody. This is Josh with Inktology. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me find my video so I can make sure I'm online. Yeah, I am live. Good. Anyways, hey, welcome. Sorry I haven't been really posting any videos in the last couple weeks. My bad. Oh man, I gotta set up my camera. Hold on a second. One, two, 1, 2. Do you hear me now? Let me know if you hear me. I don't hear me. Oh, come on. Is it plugged in? Oh, jeez. Yeah, it works now. Good God. Sorry, guys. Wow. Dang. That scared the dookie out of me. All right, let's get some music going because I'm already. Let's see. What should we listen to? I'm trying to catch up on Avatar 2, the movie. So, because tonight I'm watching Avatar 3. I'm going to be honest. I love the animation. It's great animation and CGI and stuff, but I'm not a fan of the story. I wonder why. I don't know. Something about it feels very basic, and I want something fresh. But anyways, I'm gonna go see the third one anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Hey, if you're new, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That'd be great. Now let's begin. What do you see? You see this part? Okay. I'm working on his hand right now. drawing the blood going down his fingers as he just pulled out his eyeball. So if you don't know, I'm drawing Odin, you know, god of one of the major Norse gods, as we all know. He is a what is it called? A morphing god. He can transform into anything he wants, pretty much. He's accompanied by a few things, which I'm drawing in here, like the wolves and ravens. He has a spear named Gungnir, which is a magical spear that he gets from the dwarves. And yeah, there's a few things in his story. He's kind of like not a can't even speak right now. My goodness, my brain. He's not very much of a good god as he is a god of wisdom, and he's just got weird stories of how he gains his wisdom by pulling out his eyeball and drinking from this, you know, water, or this water fountain. And then he takes out the, you know, all these the creator of the giants and stuff, and pretty much deems himself god of the world through his wisdom and stuff. Kind of takes over. I'm a fan of Vikings and the Norse mythology and Norsemen, and the whole Scandinavian culture fascinates me greatly. Big old fan. Do I know everything about it? I sure do not. Haven't even been there yet. Love to, though. I have a friend from that area, and I think she's like ancestral Viking, honestly, which is kind of cool. Yeah, they go see their family over there, and I imagine they have like big mugs with beer in it and just always like chanting and braided hair. That's kind of what I imagine. At least that's what I hope happens. If not, I'd be a little sad, but wasn't he a prophet in some stories? Yeah, I think he was. He has some weird stories where he was he's kind of roaming around as this. He has this like dark blue cloak on, and he's got this big brimmed hat, and then he becomes a grandmother or an old lady. At one point, he wants to marry this random woman who's just so like tough. She doesn't want to marry anybody, but he keeps on persisting. So like he stops this war. I think he stops this war. I believe he stops this war, and he comes back, and he does all these things for her, and she keeps on rejecting him. And eventually, he gets so mad he curses her with mad depression, and he comes back as an old lady, promising to cure the depression. But the dad had to give her over to him in order for that depression to be cured by her magic. And once he did, you know, Odin was like, "Oh, I got her in my arms, and finally she can be mine." So he forces her to marry him. But then cures her depression. So I really don't know the point of that. I don't know why he would even do that without the context of like, were they in love? Obviously they weren't, because she didn't know who he was and didn't care for him. So I don't know. I don't know the point of that story, but that's just one of the most random things ever. But he's known for like, you know, really seeking out wisdom and being this god of just, he pulls out his eyeball just to learn a little bit, you know. And then I think he fights somebody. I don't know. There's a lot to his story. We should pull out the book. Okay, what's on the camera? Okay, so right now I'm like I said, drawing the blood and stuff, but hopefully get done with this move faster. This music doesn't match my drawing. I don't know if this is copyright, but we're about to find out. Kind of Norse, I guess. Let me zoom in for you guys here. Oh wow, man, sorry. Nordic music, chill. Goodness. Alright. Guess they all have to be singing? Thought they'd be just ambient music. Silent Fjord, Nordic Viking city in the mist. Yeah, fun. So I'm probably going to make this all black underneath here and then just black out a lot of him in order to give this shadow, I guess, more prominence to the image. So the meaning, the light source coming this direction. So I might oh no. Josh. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and cover all this up. Okay, well, I see there's a couple people watching. Hope you're enjoying the process already so far. But I'm right now. I'm just kind of going through this really dull moment of filling in all these black areas, these shadows, and kind of, I'm actually kind of building what I think it should be. And the texture, like I'm kind of moving around with the texture right now. You can see I'm doing these weird little marks, and this is me kind of like, how like in shadows they don't always break evenly. There's little hints of light in them, and you're like, why? And that's because like maybe there's a rock there and all these little different textures of height. And I'm trying to build that kind of vibe, but I really don't know what I'm doing. In a sense, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at it going, if the shadows are coming this direction, then technically all of this would be mostly dark, but I don't want it to be all dark. So I have to kind of like play both worlds. We'll see what happens, I don't want to go into too much detail either, because then I'm going to be sitting on this thing drawing for hours upon hours. This is meant to be a nice, fun sketch of Odin and not a hyper detailed piece. Because I would like to put in his throne his whole story. Like I put here where he's pulling out his eye, and now he's got his eye, and here's his, 6-legged horse or 8-legged horse or whatever it is. I think it's 6 legs. And then I was gonna put up here where he's hanging himself from Yggdrasil, the tree of that holds everything together. That's another way he gets wisdom, is by hanging himself and then shoving his spear into his side, I think it is. Kind of weird, kind of biblical. Fascinating mythology, though. So, Vikings, one thing that I think a lot of people aren't reminded of, that are Vikings are not the only ones that are these Norse people. There's these Scandinavian people. And Vikings were designated roughly for the seafarers, people who traveled by sea and were war parties and stuff like that. In comparison to just the Norsemen that were living in that area, who may have done more farming and cultivation and stuff like that. But the Norse are a fierce, strong people living in the most cold environments you can live in, and then living off the land. That's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Very cool too. I just like their outfits and their attire, bad to the bone. Okay, let's go right down here. You know what? I'll give you all something fun. I'm gonna work on the head. That's much more entertaining to watch. All right. And it's quite amazing to see this kind of pen do that fine of line work. But I highly recommend it. If you ever get a chance to get this kind of pen and draw with it, this zebra, you get it on Amazon it's like a 3-pack of 3 different ones, the gray, black, and maybe a 4-pack. Very good pens. I really like it. It's now my new favorite pen. I found it by accident. I think I have a thing for beards. I realize that I really enjoy drawing beards. Not that I'm even that good at them, but I love mustaches and beards. Anybody like any of you guys when you draw, you like find that you draw this one specific thing a lot on people that you draw characters? Because I for sure do. I'm trying to get away from it. I'm trying to break it off and get more diverse in my creative expression of characters, but beards are just one of those things. I'm like, they look so cool. I'm Asian, so I don't really get a beard. Kind of sucks. I was born into the hairless Asian family, which means I'm really good in water scenarios. I am like a bullet in water. But when it comes to growing facial hair, just can't do it. Very saddening. I've had dreams about it, where I woke up with a beard and a mustache, and I was so happy, and then I grabbed my face, and there was nothing. Just smooth baby skin, like texture, like that of the gods. Okay. They never look good, Randy. Man, this guy's beard was very hard. I don't do beards good either. They're just hard, but they look good when you see them on other drawings. They just look cool. But I had to draw Odin. Odin is a beard kind of guy. Gorgeous Andrew, what's up? Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Means a lot. Yeah, if I can get beards to look good on my drawings, I'd be very happy. And this would be like this little section right here. I don't know if you could see it, my camera being very small on it. But it's kind of a cluster of me just making thicker and darker beard lines, right? And more closer together to bring out the blacks and make the shadows. This is like a safety way of trying to get those blacks in there without me just coloring in all the blacks at once. But nevertheless, once this is done and there's more of his shadow being taken over and the light's coming through across, that's the same kind of concept I was trying to play here with these. I made thick black lines, but then I'd go with this pen and kind of like fill in the areas, and you would see how it kind of like would blend in, right? Instead of being such hard shadow lines, like that one right there is a little hard. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. There's a couple ways to get to that point where you want to shade in like this. I find that just going big, blotchy, black line work and then coming in and adding the details feels a little bit faster and easier. I mean, I think the proper way would probably be to do the details first and then blacken in darken in and everything afterwards. But you know, I guess it's a process that you can work with on your own. Sometimes I watch other artists and how they draw, and some are just so fast. It's like unnatural. Like David Finch, he draws at a speed that I'm like, come on, dude, don't make me depressed today. Like, I want to draw. Because he like sketches and he makes this beautiful character, and then he just goes in and inks it right away, and each shadow line is put in place almost flawlessly. I mean, he's not perfect at it, and he shows it, which is cool, which is I like watching his lives for that. But man, he's good. He is good. Of course, more. Coffee time. I tried recording a video of me talking and narrating the drawing process. I think it was Sif, or maybe it was a different one. I was like trying to speak Norse. I was watching Norse videos. I was like, and the Odin's son went to his father, Odin. And I was like, man, I just sound dumb. I wonder if like people hear this accent and it's like, man, that is the worst trashy Scandinavian Norse accent ever. The same way, you know, like, well, I don't know. I feel like people who mock, not mock, but imitate American accents, they do it really well. But then English accents and other ones, not so much. I wish I had the ability to learn accents and imitate like different accents and characters and people. Some people do voices, man, so good. Alright, so I'm doing the boot. Under the boot, I don't really know what to draw. I'm used to tennis shoes, so I'm thinking like a grid design, but they're not going to have that. It's just going to be flat. It's probably going to be a piece of leather. If anything, it'd be molded to his shape of his foot, probably. I think. I don't know. What were the boots made out of? I should research that. Research time. What were... Let's say Vikings. Viking boots made of vegetable tanned leather, cowhide, sometimes goat sheepskin. Give me a photo. Well, I was wrong all along, guys. Viking shoes are far more stylish, as I'm guessing that's what they are. I'm just kidding. That's what it says. Man, can you imagine a Viking rolling up on you? But then he's wearing those. Those are boss. I'd wear those. Okay, let's try a real sight. Viking Satlered Muller. Viking boots. What's with all these cookies? These are authentic? I guess it's just really thick leather underneath. So yeah, this will be fine. It might be even fine to shade all this in too. Or cross hatch it in. All right. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be working on the head. What am I doing? Oh my god. I keep recording, forgetting to stop. Okay, let's get back at it. Jeez, Josh. I have 2 cameras going on right now, and I keep on pressing record on this one, and then it records. While this one doesn't have a video that's recording, I can just keep rolling. And I forget that I'm just using up battery and space on my memory card on this other camera. So I'm trying to make a video out of this to post for Tuesday with the history of Odin, talking about it, because I'm not talking about it right now. Which I thought about it, and like some of the data that I give on my episodes, though they may be like, I guess, honest and true data of the information of the mythology of the characters and stuff like that, they lack a lot too. And they lack a lot, because usually what happens is I'll research and I'll go through a few books or whatever, and learn about the gods, and then try to collect and put it together in a simple 10-minute video or something. But then I literally, like a week later, it always happens, I'll see like a new book on it or a new video documentary, and then I'll learn all these crazy cool things I should have put into my video, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna make a whole new drawing yet. So I'm just waiting for all the information to come out, maybe another couple years, and then I'll redo some of these characters with better information or cooler stuff that I didn't include in the original. I found out, since I'm drawing my graphic novel right now, I've learned that some of the loopholes that I've been running into that kind of hinder the process of how this would actually work in the real world, because I'm trying to create a mythology, a new mythology myself, based off of Christianity and, well, all the Greek, Mesopotamian, Egyptian, and those central areas gods at that time. I'm not going to go into China and all that other stuff, or South America and those gods, but I think I've created a really good narrative that flows through all of those gods and have them interact within a biblical context, using the biblical as a context, Bible as a context. What am I saying? So it took a while. I've been really excited about putting out the drawing of the first graphic novel, which y'all saw on the last live stream, I think. But it'd be including not him, the Greek gods, like Zeus and stuff. This is one of the pages, you've probably seen it on the other stream. This is Ehud and his friend Goel. I'm excited to ink that. That's going to be fun. But yeah, I was like, why don't I just create my own new mythology? Like, I mean, I guess it can't be a mythology unless it's worshipped as a religion, I suppose. Can it be? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't want people to worship my religion, though. That'd be weird. I guess it would be like the tale of the creation of everything is a mythology. Darn. I don't know the actual definition. Oh, and these were the kind of the boots that they were promoting for like the Middle Ages. Ugly. Oh, 9th, 10th century Vikings were wearing something like this. Fashionable. I like it. Oh, these are nice. Vikings got style. All right. What was I just looking up? Well, there goes that brain fart. That's what happens, you don't have enough coffee in your system. heard the new Avengers Doomsday trailers is out for the Avatar movie, and I don't know if I'm actually excited to see. I'm not like excited. I think if you would have asked me 20 years ago, I'd been flipping out happy. You know, like oh my gosh, you know the trailer's out for this new Avengers Marvel movie. But then I think Disney has really just drained our souls. You know, I think all of us. I think we're kind of exhausted. I think even kids are exhausted. I look at kids these days and they're like looking at their cartoons like ugh. But I don't know. I'm not excited about it. What do you think? Are you guys excited for the new Avengers Doomsday, Robert Downey Jr.? Are you into that kind of stuff? I finally made it. John, you have made it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's see. Let me give you some. Give me the. There. This looks funny. Great. Welcome. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Sorry, I just had to do that. It seemed like a fun way to plug myself in. Okay, this ad is for McDonald's too long. Hello. You're really late, John. You're so late. You're so late. Nah, you're actually on time. I just started like I don't even know when I started, honestly. Let me see. 40 minutes ago. Time flies, guys. I have not accomplished anything on this drawing. Y'all need to just be quiet and stop talking to me. This is why I'm not getting anything done. Y'all talk too much. I'm just kidding. Please don't yell at me. It was a joke. It's me who talks too much. Odin, the son of the giants, the All-Father, the bringer of the 9 realms, plunges into darkness, stands amongst men and mortals in Midgard, and destiny to be eaten by Fenrir, the wolf. So that's kind of cool. That's it. So Odin knows, he has so much wisdom, he knows the future, right? Ragnarok is coming, it's inevitable, as you've seen in Marvel films, it's going to happen. He knows his doom is to be eaten by this wolf, and I believe he maintains the wolf in his presence in order to make sure he doesn't get eaten. But to know your own death, even as a god, is kind of fascinating because it doesn't really, I don't know if it does, I haven't explored it enough, or at least heard it, and I've searched a little bit, but that what happens after Fenrir eats the gods and kills everyone, what happens? Like, do they go somewhere? Are they going to live in Valhalla? But is Asgard not already somewhat of Valhalla unless these gods are mortal? But do they have another form in a spiritual realm if they're gods? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a little confused. So I'm trying to figure that out. If you guys know anything about the Norse mythology on that level, I have not found information much on that. That's I guess, a theological standing point for Norse mythology, but I think one that would be quite clear in the mythology, though, nonetheless. Okay, I'm not gonna bore you guys with just drawing a beard. Oh gosh, so loud. All right, here I'm going to. Did you get my ideas for some drawings? Oh yes, I have. I've been pondering over them. If you mean from our chat, yes. You know, I definitely need to ask my audience a little bit about what they want to see, I suppose, than what I'm just drawing. I don't know, I never really did polls. Maybe there's something you can suggest for the next God, John. You know what I mean? Definitely help me out. When it comes to reflections on the helmet, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know nothing of how to do it. I wing it hard, and I get my ideas in my head. My head is what it's doing right now is processing how this is gonna work, because I know there's going to be a dark black solid object within the shading of the reflection. If you ever look at Silver Surfer, he's got like 4 different tones of wiggly lines going through his to make that silver reflective look. But you could do it with 3, and that's usually black, a hard black shadow line. That's going to mean that it's a reflective thing, or the color is not a pure mirror. And then you have these cross-hatching lines, which kind of give a different, that'd be your second color. And then of course white. In this situation, I'm just trying to figure out how to make this work. I really just don't know how it's gonna work, because it still has to flow too, which is the kind of like, will it work? Will it connect? Will it make it? Will it look believable? I guess that's the real question. Like right here, it's working out pretty well, but then actually the helmet here, kind of tough. See, it's doable for me, but it's not believable for me. This is where a reference would be really good. Really good. But I don't have one. Okay. All right, Odin. All right, looking pretty good to me. There's like that moment when you're drawing something and you kind of like, you're in the zone and you're like, okay, just when I get out of the zone, it better look legit. And whew, lucky me. Downloaded this video game. The Ghosts of Tsushima, I think it is. It's a Japanese-based samurai game where I guess it's free range roam the world or whatever. I just started it, so I can't really say. I have no idea. But it's very cool. It's got really good reviews. Everyone I've ever met said, like, if there's any game I should play, it should be that one. When it comes to, like, my style of gaming, at least. And they're not wrong, because once I picked it up, I was like, oh, this is my kind of style of character. Like, video games where you kind of run around collecting stuff, fighting people, and sneaking, and, you know, there's storyline, little cutscenes, little side stories, and all that jazz. That's what I like. And then just to give some detailing to the character's helmet to make it look more like a piece of metal and stuff, I'll just add little grit here and there, little pieces at the edge. I learned this technique from Todd McFarlane, and when he creates Spawn and all these other characters, he puts these little artifacts, and it does help. It looks like stone, it looks like metal. It works really good on stone, but it can also do metal too. Okay. Thumbs up. Yeah. Let me thumbs up myself. I don't even know if that's a legal thing to do. Thumbs up yourself. I think YouTube cares. Self-encouragement should be promoted on YouTube. 8 likes and 8 views? Score! That's what I'm talking about. You guys rock. And ladies. Sorry. I mean, not to exclude. Christmas coming around, and I usually will attend a friend's Christmas because I don't live anywhere near family and stuff. So this year I'm going to be. I usually cook too because Josh here is a pretty good cook. It's because my wife is a good cook actually, and she teaches me everything, and she follows like the best cooks ever. There's this guy named Chef John. John, I don't know if you know him, but there's a guy named Chef John on YouTube. From, is it All Food Recipes or something? But anyways, Chef John, just type it in and then type in whatever food you want to make after that. So Chef John, creme brulee or something, whatever. Man, his recipes, I swear, are almost flawless every single time. I like, flawless. They just taste so good compared to like, you know, Gordon Ramsay or some of these other cats who you try the recipes and you're like, okay, I get it, maybe, but then it doesn't just hit. But Chef John, man, he hits. Yeah, John. If you ever want to cook, check out that guy's stuff. He's no joke. He's no joke. He's like, to me, he's the Bob Ross of food. Yeah, very nice, very motivating, but on point on everything he says about what food should taste like and why he likes this recipe better. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to be doing I think like a 20-layer crepe cake, and then I'm going to dress it up like a Christmas tree. Okay, so my every year I try to like do something for my friends or a different friend group that I have, and make them some delicious cake or meal or whatever. And this year I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something so awesome. They're gonna be like, okay, Josh doesn't have to make another thing ever again, and that'd be awesome. So the crepe cake it is. No, Brian. Have you heard of Alton Brown? Alton Brown. He's good to explain food and like where it came from. Ooh, Alton Brown. I will check him out. Alton Brown. Let me hold on. Let me write his stuff down. Oh yeah. Oh, this is Alton Brown. Ooh, this looks good. Rib roast. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely check out his stuff. Oh my gosh. Sorry, didn't mean the mic. Kind of reminds me of Adam Savage from his YouTube show. Looks like him at least. How you make eyes will turn out. So I'm about to get my first tattoo, I think, after first tattoo after 40 years, I guess, or the first tattoo ever. I'm gonna be getting my brother's name or a symbol, well, probably his name and the symbol or an image on my hand. Just wondering, have you guys ever got a tattoo on your hand, and how bad does it hurt? I think that's my question. Yeah. I'm terrified of needles, and I'm not a big fan of even tattoos, but I mean, I like tattoos on people, but myself, I don't. But I feel like this is the proper thing to do. Yeah. I gotta make it look really legit. But he drew a drawing of this skateboard guy when he was young, and he always loved it. And I think I remember being there when he drew it, because I was we were drawing on the counter on it by his TV. And I'm just gonna. It's a little skateboarder guy doing a little kickflip. It's like it's kind of a janky drawing, but I kind of want it like right here, and then his name right here on my pinky all the way through. But the name I think would look better if it was just right here, and then that symbol maybe somewhere else, maybe on like, since it's a kickflip, put it on like my left foot or my right foot, since he skated goofy. where you flick it. I thought that'd be kind of fun, you know. Ooh, a dollar symbol above the thumb. Interesting. Yeah, my buddy had on his hand a whole bunch of other like cool things, and then my brother had like a he had this big sun, but these I don't know about the hand. I don't want anything on my hands. That's really what, because I like having my hands clean. But because he was, there's a lot of reasons why I have to do my hand in a way, because he was an artist too, and he always admired my art, and I taught him how to draw kind of, and so like our hands were like our most prized thing, and our feet, because we were skateboarders back then. But you know, I think putting it anywhere else would just kind of be not appropriate for what I think he would want. I don't know. The brother's faces right here on the thumb. His face, I don't want to see his face, no. He always made a goofy face, so his face is one thing, but yeah. Good looking guy though. Hella good looking guy. Man, that guy was good looking. Yeah. I think it's time for the tattoo. I've been putting it off, and I don't know, there's no other way I can kind of celebrate him. He was a big tattoo dude. He loved tattoos. So it's probably the only way I can do it, but whatever. Oh, man. Just the thought of all of that's exhausting. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, if I get one, I'm going to have to find an artist that I completely trust, because I would rather do it myself in many ways, just so I know that I went through the pain of putting it on myself to do it. But at the same time, I don't trust myself with a steady hand, because I did do I tried doing tattoos a couple years ago. I bought the tattoo needle and the machine and everything, right? And I got fake skin. I got the ink. Went for it. I was like, no. It started jabbing the fake skin like it was a horror movie out of Saw. It was gnarly. It was just ripping through the skin, pulling and punching in this ink, and I was like, it traumatized me so hard. I was like, what? I'm not doing that to someone's skin, much less myself. Yeah, no way. So I gave that thing away right away. I was like, here you go. I found the first person who said, yeah, I thought about doing tattoos. Like, here you go. Go for it. Live your dream. Live your dream. She never did it, though. Because I didn't give her the adapter for it. And so in which it never got used. What number pen are you using? This one is the brush number 22. 22. Ooh. 22. Man. Where's my other pen then? Okay, so I'm using the 22, but then I'm also using this this Japanese zebra pen, feud pen, I think it's called, Flume. And then I still have the Molotow, still using Molotow black liner to do the much more details in the cross hatching. But this one is specifically just for filling in large amounts of black area. So I have a theory I would like to run by you guys if you want to throw your input. I have a theory that I think, like, I was thinking, like, okay, for the Norse gods, right? They've been around for a while. How did they develop? Were they taken by these Greeks? Were they taken by other areas and all these other areas? And then you go to Mayans and, you know, their beliefs, and you go to all these different gods, and you're like, who was the first dude who was like, yeah, I believe there's a god of thunder. Yeah, it's a guy. He's mad. His name is Thor, and he has this hammer. That's why it's, when it hits, it's like sounds thunder, you know? And, you know, like, for them to create such a strong mythology and fantasy, religion even, to the point of dying for it, without any real development of proof of it. Like, there was no Mjolnir hammer. So they don't have a hammer hanging around that they can't pick up. It's super strong, you know? Like, so, like, how did this all happen? So my theory is that the people who create these amazing tales are often the creatives of their society, the highly respected creative people of their society, the artists, I would say, the writers, even the painters and the sculptors, you know, because a sculptor can convince. I feel like it could convince an entire country on whatever that sculpture was supposed to represent, you know. But I could be wrong. There's no study on this. It's just my thought after just kind of this year of looking at everything, and I'm like, what do you think, though? I believe you're from Amazon ink. It looked like it faded tattoo ink. Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the real tattoo ink? Is that what you're asking? What kind of ink pen I used? Oh, I also have this here. This is kind of cool, guys. If you want to, like, play around with tattoo ideas, this is called Inkbox. And what you do is, it's just like a brush pen, right? And you just take some, like, dry out your skin, and then you can do like a tattoo. Look at that. X marks the spot. Okay, I don't want to go any further because then I have to wrinkle my hand and it's going to mess up. But yeah, I could do something simple like that. Give it like 30 minutes, and this stuff I can try to rub it off or whatever. You should leave it on for 8 hours, honestly. But this stuff is so strong that it'll give me like 5 days of that being the dark blue color. It'll turn into the tattoo blue, and then, you know, it looks like a tattoo. It's pretty dope. I don't know why I just did. John? Just kidding. Anyways, it's a cool gift to get to artists who want to, like, for Christmas maybe, like, you want to give somebody an art gift. That's a cool one, you know, because it goes away in about 2 weeks. Like, I think it's like 10 days, honestly. Keep forgetting to stop recording this video. I need to do like 10 seconds. I'm gonna waste all my battery and my. Let's do this. I have a fun little project coming up in 2 months, where I'm going to be posting a video on painting a baby's room. And this is because I'm going to be painting my current office, into a art/kids room for a baby, or my kid to come in. This will be my first child, but I've always had this plan since I was young, like what I'm going to do for my kid. Like, I want them to have the most dope, and I mean, screw everyone else. I want this kid to live in a beautiful, like, fantasy world. You know, when they go to home into their bedroom, I want them to feel like they went into Lord of the Rings, right? So I have this. Hold on. I have this. I have Gandalf's staff, like a legitimate not Disney. I'm sorry, Warner Brothers staff thing that they give away as a prop. Anyways, it's legit. I want to have a cartoon scene of like all the hobbits and all like the elf and everybody, dwarf and Gandalf, and then have Gandalf holding the staff, but then having his hand kind of cartoon coming out of the wall, 3D, holding the real staff, and at the top of the staff, I'm gonna have a light bulb. So when the kid turns on the light, it's like the light comes from his staff. Like, yeah, so excited. I'm gonna paint the walls into this beautiful like Shire. It's gonna be the Shire scene. So it's gonna have green fields and beautiful baby blue skies, and then I'm gonna make it very cartoony and like shape friendly for the kid. So that way, within a year or two, a year and a half or two, I feel like the kid will grow to understand a much more, childlike image. And then I'll change it to a more, when they're 3 and older, get to a different image and make it cooler and deeper and darker. That's my plan. So I remember as a kid, like I used to build forts in my room, and I used to do all these fun things, and my parents would always get mad at me, like, don't make forts out of the pillows and don't do all this stuff. And it confused me. So I was like, why not? It's not like you guys are sitting on these things, and on top of that, this is like the only way I'm going to have fun. And I felt like when I get older, I'm never going to stop my kid from playing that way. Because in the end, it's those moments that are the retreat when trauma or hardships or difficulties in life really come back. You rely on those joyful moments when you're a kid to kind of, remind you that life isn't so serious. It doesn't need to be, at least. And I really want to foster that in my kiddo. But we'll see. I mean, he's kind of lucky. He's got an artist dad. He or she, I don't know what they are, but, we will see. Yes, sir, John. I have one on the way. 3 months away. Actually, 2.5 months away. Ooh. Talk about unprepared. Man. I had a promise to make my YouTube channel monetized by the time I had a kid. So I have less than 2 months to make that dream come true. Oh boy. Time to start pumping out videos. They might get a little sloppy. Yep, kids on the way. I've got most of the gear I needed for it, but just got to paint the room. I got this little office, and I've got to make it into an art studio / kids room, which shouldn't be that big of an issue, because the design of the painting is actually pretty simple, and I got a 3D printer on its way. So I'm going to print out really cool little safety things for the room so the kid's safe, can play. And I've got a cool idea of putting the baby's pen, what the freaking crap. I sound like I'm an animal tamer. The baby cage. What is it called? What is it called? Darn it, Josh. Okay, I'll pump them out. You watch them, John. Just watch them on repeat. So I can get those hours. I gotta get 3,000 hours or something. I can't get past 580. It goes up and down every day. 580, 590, 580, 590, 579, 582. I lost train of thought. Yeah. I'm gonna have the bed for the baby on the ground, the literal ground, and have like the fence around it. That way the baby can't roll out of a playpen and stuff like that. And I saw a kid do a front flip. My friend's kid did a front flip out of her baby thing, the thing that babies sleep in. Carriage? No. Crib. Right when you said it. Crib. Darn it. Thank you, John. Yeah, the crib is so I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do a cooler crib. So the crib is gonna be like this kind of like I said before, the what's the Lord of the Rings Shire? It's gonna be the Shire. So I'm gonna have this green, like grass-like looking thing here that the kid can have like a little bump, you know. Toys and fluffy things can be there, and then the rest is gonna be flat, like kind of like this soft green plush texture, so the baby can roll around and like crawl, and we can sit there and play together, and I can open the fence and we can have this whole room for a ground level safety thing. All planned out. I think it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna do a whole video on it, so you guys are gonna. I think you guys will like it. The only problem is like when I post those kind of videos, my algorithm gets all messed up because they don't know what I'm posting on, so it doesn't send me out, and then no one watches those videos, and it makes me look like a doofus. But I like making them. I'm not gonna lie, they're very cool, because to me as an artist, that's what I would watch. Just fun projects and stuff that artists do. Because I like the artist. But thank you, John. Your brain has helped my brain a lot just now. I was getting angry with myself for not knowing what crib was. I'm like, what? Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the two hands. Let's measure those two hands, would you? Oh, there you go. This hand here is roughly, I would say, if it was closed up fingers, you're still looking at 6 to 5. No, maybe 5 closed, right? Compared to his over here, down here, which is only slightly further away in distance, goes down to 3. Now, is my perspective correct? Yeah, I'm getting those Lord of the Rings hits, that's for sure. It's my goal. So is this correct? The proportion of the hand stretched out versus the hand crunched in. Now, if we look here, the hand crunched in is probably the width around maybe 3.5, 4, if we were to look at it from the front view instead of this side angle view. If this was the same, then we would have maybe 5. We'd have 5. So it's a little bit bigger, 5, 6 maybe. Is that proportionally correct? No, it is slightly too big. Now his hand here is already big for, I guess, maybe it's not big. Actually, it's probably very proportionate. I had him create the larger kneecap, in which I have his foot really large down here. This isn't proportionate either. This is actually wrong. It starts out right, but then by the time his foot should have actually been a little bit smaller up top to match it, because what I wanted to have happen here was the viewer is right here, but at this bubble lens, right? And these two objects would be much closer to the camera or the viewer than the other objects, which are kind of warping into the distance is what I was going to have happen, because I didn't want a straight point. I wanted a point that kind of curved up into this galaxy that will be floating up in this far corner of the drawing. So that being said, there's a lot more detail work. Like, this is gonna be a lot of detail work, I think, shading, a lot of lines, but the image will be very simplified because it's just gonna be him hanging from either so, but the tree will be defined lines sideways. I didn't want to black it all out just because this will be all black with stars and speckles and all that kind of cool stuff. But yeah, that just wanted to stop real quick and just let you know, hey, this might not be proportionally accurate, right? Because this would have to be further away in order for that to kind of work. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, because art isn't always about 100%. It's about presenting something that's fun to the viewer, right? So that being the case, I'm excited for how he's coming out. He's looking classy. So after I do these lines, I go into with the Molotov here. I did it again. Oh, man. And then I go in here and do the same lines but thinner, and you can see that there's a little bit difference, and that's just enough of a difference for the eyes to show more of a shading depth, right? Just as it go from hard lines and thick lines to nothingness, there is fine lines and more detail. Okay, that looks kind of better. I could do a little bit more work here and bring that shadow part down. But you see what I'm saying, right? Like, the thin lines definitely finish off the character's drawing, and it feels much better. But the medium pen here is my baby, and I love it, and I'm gonna use it. Why is it so yellow on screen, guys? Hold on, let me check this white balance. This is kind of gnarly. It's still kind of like yellowish, is it not? No. All right, we're just gonna do that one. That looks a little bit better. You don't see any yellow? Weird. On my screen, I was looking at like this red, orange, yellow tint. Oh, there you go. Oh. Ooh. There you go. Finally. Yeah, the paper's new. This is a new paper. It's because I have a yellow light, a tungsten light to my left, and I have a tungsten behind me. But then I have blue light from the sun and the foggy blue sky from the right. So there's a mix of different colors battling for attention here. But I didn't want that. It was super yellow or tungsten-y, and I just didn't prefer that. All right. My phone's about to die. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff is about to die. Interesting. That is better, right, John? Yeah, better color. Okay, let's get in this wolf. Now, it's supposed to be made out of wood, so I don't really know how that's going to work. On but we're just going to wing it because that's all I can do. Okay, I'm kind of scared to draw this. I might need to do this separately, like on my own time, to where I can really focus, because this is hard because I don't want to put too much detail in the line work, but I need to put enough shading to where it looks like a piece of wood. I don't even know. Oops. Oh, Josh. You know what they say. Happy accidents. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out a little bit later. But yeah. We've been going on an hour and 30 minutes right now, and we can either do two things. I can take a 15-20 minute break and then come back, just leave this on, or I can come back later tonight. But later tonight I probably won't be able to do it because I have a movie. It's already 4, 5, 6. No, I have to leave. Okay, so I'm going to end it here, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. This was very fun. I know Sunday is a day to relax and chill, and I hope you were able to do that. Or have a little bit of a fun time with me. If not, you should definitely do that. It's Sunday. The rest of the day is still here. At least for me. For you, it may be ending, but, you know, I hope you have a great evening, and thank you for watching. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. That'd be cool. And share the video. Check me out on Discord. And hey, have a great Sunday. See, I don't know what day. I'm losing train of thought. Tonight. John, are you going to be on tonight? I don't think so, because Avatar is like a 3-hour movie, I think, or 2. And ours starts late, so it means I'll probably get on close to midnight, so it probably won't happen. But I will try my best to have a video posted soon, especially about this one, and be back on live stream more often now that I'm not sick. You know, at least I'm getting better. Can't promise it, but I'm going to try. But thank you guys. See y'all soon, and have a great Sunday. Thank you, John, for joining, as well as Randy. Appreciate you. Andrew, You're awesome. And yeah, anyone else out there who joined, have a great evening.